welcome to the very first episode of Give a Fuck, a podcast presented by Spark Consciousness. I am your host, Sarah Woodard, and Spark Consciousness is my brainchild. From birth, and probably before actually, I felt the need to help heal Mother Earth and help humans live in harmony with Gaia and all beings. And this led me down a lot of different avenues, including becoming vegan, training as a Reiki master teacher, and certified shamanic practitioner. And all of that helped me to increase my connections and understand a lot about compassion and my place in the universe. But I was still looking for that clear path to how I help others reach that same understanding. And I spent many years just kind of trying different things as a coach, as a mentor. And then I started writing children's books. And that's amazing. And I still love doing that. I'm an award-winning children's author. And for a long time, I thought, this is it. This is the way. But it wasn't quite. And I kept getting these messages about expand your view, expand your view. And it took moving 2,000 miles from New England to Colorado to figure it out. But I finally did. And so that's what Spark Consciousness is. And Spark Consciousness is going to have a variety of offerings, one of which is this podcast. And the purpose of Give a Fuck is to provide you with some fun facts or tips or other observations to help kickstart your thought process. I may sometimes also share other resources. And I love to help you continue your learning because I believe that knowledge is the basis for compassion. And so when you learn about how everything is connected, when you learn why a person or an animal or a plant or whatever is doing what it's doing, needs what it needs, it's a lot easier to feel compassionate in that situation or for that other being, and also for yourself. Because it's really hard to be compassionate for anything if you're not compassionate for yourself. And so understanding your place in that greater connection helps you to be compassionate for yourself as well. Quick reminder that Give a Fuck is spelled F*K. That is both to get past the censors, but also to not be stealing anybody else's podcast name. There is one that has, I think it's 2 asterisks or a C or something in there that is all about paranormal stuff. Haven't listened to it yet, but feel free to check it out if that is of appeal to you. Quick little note about the structure of this podcast. So there's always going to be a quick introduction. I'm then going to give you some life update about what's happening on with me, any shout outs. Then the Satan of this will be something that I've learned or feel compelled to share. And then we'll do the quick wrap up and housekeeping. The intention here is just some knowledge bombs to drop at you. You can listen while you're at your lunch break or in traffic. And I hope that you will find it helpful. So moving on to the life update. First, I want to give a huge shout out to the wonderful people at Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. Christine has been amazing about helping me through this learning curve of how to even do a podcast. And if you are vegan curious at all, I highly recommend that you check them out. My life right now is all about bringing Spark Consciousness online. I had a little bit of drama this past week when my laptop died out of nowhere. It just went, I literally had it like sort of off to one side and I could see it in my peripheral vision. In 1 second it was fine, and then the next second it went, oh, I don't have an operating system. And when I tried to reinstall the operating system, it said, oh, I don't have a hard drive to reinstall my operating system on. Tech support couldn't help, and so I wound up making an emergency run the next day to Best Buy. So I'm now doing this podcast on a brand new machine. So that was a bit dramatic. But otherwise, I'm just working on getting professional pictures and getting my website done and all of that jazz. When I am not doing that, I love to spend time with my kitties, my 3 babies, Toby and Monkey and Sunny. And Toby's the only boy. And then he's also the youngest. Sunny and Monkey are sisters, like biological sisters. Toby is much younger than they are. And Other than that, Netflix and chill with a good cup of tea, I'm there. I am down for that. What else has been going on in my life? That about covers it. I know it sounds a little bit boring, but it's actually really busy trying to start a business. If you've never done that before, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. But also I highly encourage it. If you have a passion that you're following, do it, because the world needs more of that. So for today's Satan section, I actually wanted to talk about a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now, William Shatner went to space on SpaceX. And at first I was like, I don't care. This is like a bunch of old white dudes with more money than they know what to do with, who should be doing like charitable things with their money, and instead they're just doing stupid crap. I kind of didn't care. As much as I love William Shatner, as much as I love Star Trek, it was like, no, I wasn't into it. But then something amazing happened. And that's what I want to share with you. So you can find that. I'm going to put the link to this in the show notes as well. But William Shatner, when he came back, actually at first, if you can find the footage of it, he was kind of speechless at first, and like Jeff Bezos was all just like, oh, and they're all like being stupid and partying and whatever, just dumb stuff. And Shatner like couldn't even really get out what he was trying to say. When he finally did, what he felt was actually surprising and kind of beautiful. So I'm just going to read it to you from this article that I'm going to put the full link for you in the show notes. He says he looked out of the window, a real one, not from Enterprise on a TV set. And he says, there was no mystery, no majestic awe to behold. All I saw was death. I saw a cold, dark, black emptiness. It was unlike any blackness you can see or feel on Earth. It was deep, enveloping, all-encompassing. And then, as he turned back towards the light of home, he saw the opposite. Quote, I could see the curvature of Earth, the beige of the desert, the white of the clouds, and the blue of the sky. It was life. Nurturing, sustaining life. Mother Earth, Gaia. And I was leaving her. And he says, then I had a stunning revelation. Everything I had thought was wrong. Everything I had expected to see was wrong. I had thought that going into space would be the ultimate catharsis of that connection I had been looking for between all living things. That being up there would be the next beautiful step to understanding the harmony of the universe. In the film Contact, when Jodie Foster's character goes to space and looks out into the heaven, she lets out an astonished whisper. They should have sent a poet. I had a different experience because I discovered that the beauty isn't out there. It's in here with all of us. Leaving that behind made my connection to our tiny planet even more proud. It was among the strongest feelings of grief I have ever encountered. The contrast between the vicious coldness of space and the warm nurturing of Earth below filled me with overwhelming sadness. Every day, we are confronted with the knowledge of further destruction of Earth at our hands, the extinction of animal species, of flora and fauna, things that took 5 billion years to evolve, and suddenly we will never see them again because of the interference of mankind. It filled me with dread. My trip to space was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it felt like a funeral. Now, if that's not chilling, I don't know what is. But it also, for me, echoes how I have felt and what I feel coming from Gaia for my entire life. And so in some ways it was very validating to be like, okay, here's this famous guy and he gets it too. And he's seeking that same thing I'm seeking, that connection, and that same thing I want to help you find. That connection, that understanding of how all life works together and how that brings peace and joy and harmony into your life and into all life. I thought that was pretty cool. So he goes on to say, the sense of planet's fragility takes hold in an ineffable, instinctive manner for many astronauts when they view Earth from orbit, is part of the overview effect. With no visible borders between nations or peoples, it becomes clear that our divisions are all man-made, which we can change the way we view humanity as a whole. The article says, the experience left Shatner with renewed conviction to focus on what we share in common. Quote, it reinforced tenfold my own view on the power of our beautiful, mysterious, collective human entanglement. And eventually it returned a feeling of hope to my heart. In this insignificance we share, we have one gift that other species perhaps do not. We are aware. Now, I'm going to pause here and I'm just going to say, I would argue that all living beings have awareness. We just don't always recognize it, meeting our own sense of awareness. However, he says we are aware not only of our insignificance, but the grandeur around us that makes us insignificant. That allows us perhaps a chance to rededicate ourselves to our planet, to each other, to life and love all around us, if we seize that chance. I think that's really beautiful. It's basically a call to action saying, hey, humanity, wake up. We're not doing the right things and we need to change. And again, it's for me very affirming of what I'm here to do in this lifetime and what I have always felt. So, I would love to hear your thoughts on Shatner's trip to space, or anything about how you feel connected or disconnected, any of those experiences. So, like I said, my website is still in process, but it will be sparkconsciousness.net when it's ready. On social media, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. With the exception of LinkedIn, the username for all of those is Spark Consciousness. So you can find me there. At some point, in addition to this podcast, there will be an online course that's rolling out. That's coming in March. And in October of next year, there will be a digital magazine as well that is coming out. And I always, at the moment at least, I have always have new books coming out, children's books, although I would argue that anyone can read them and enjoy them and learn from them. I have not decided what is going to be the next topic for the show yet, so you'll have to tune in to find that out. Surprise! Otherwise, I am working on projects that are related to rolling out the business. Tuesday, I have a photo shoot with a great photographer I'm super excited about. Still working on finding the right videographer to film the course, but I'll keep you posted on that. And I think that is all I've got for this first one. I recognize it's a bit shorter than I promised, but hey, it's my first one. Cut me some slack. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks.